So let's just let this room. Okay. Okay, I believe we are live. Let me explain to you what I'm doing here. So I had a couple of test runs for this Asian Cup 2027 draw. If you're just joining us, you haven't missed anything. They've basically done a bunch of PR. They've said the slogan is Ahlan. There's this clueless British guy based out of Singapore. It seems like he's the only guy they can bring to be the MC. He was the MC last time. He's doing a horrible job. They're wasting a lot of time as it is. And we haven't missed anything. So I would have shared my screen with the actual video feed. What I will do right now is that in the chat, you will see um, basically a message from me, and that will have a link to the AFC stream. So if you want to kind of do a dual screen where you listen to me speak instead of this coolest British guy, totally, I would think that would be better. That's just me. I'm a little bit biased. And then what we'll have up here when the draw starts is basically I'm still filling them in. All the teams will come out of the group. We'll put them up for you, and then you'll understand what's going on. So if you cannot actually do a split screen with the with the basically the draw feed, you could just focus on here on Substack, and we will update you as it goes. So the procedure right now is just being explained, and you can kind of see that on my screen right over here. And we'll just keep it going. So, let's see. Draw. Okay, and we'll just keep on filling in flags while they explain what's going on. So the first game is going to be on the 7th of January. Saudi Arabia is already in position A1, as you see on our screen here. We'll make that a little bit bigger once we're done filling in everything as is. Da, 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 da. And so, yeah, they're explaining the draw principles now. You're not missing much. If you've ever seen a draw, it's pretty much straight up. As Palestine is in pot 3, we cannot be drawn with Bahrain or Thailand or Vietnam or Tajikistan. Yeah, and you'll see that shortly on the screen here. Yeah, and I don't understand why it takes them this long to explain. Yeah, let's kind of keep this interactive. We'll keep it going. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. We'll try and get to it while we wait for this to get going. And actually, I think what we'll do is we will try and share and see what that looks like. So let's share the draw. Okay, not missing much now. I'll try and get the audio going, and then you sort of hear the background. Yeah, sharing the actual video is just choppy. I tried that a couple times yesterday before getting everything going. Wasn't a great experience, so I'll spare you that. B1, C1. And you can probably pick up some of the background audio now that I played. This shall conclude the final draw for the AFC Asia Cup Saudi Arabia 2027.
Now that the draw format is settled, ladies and gentlemen, the wait for those
So yeah, I think what will happen now is they'll roll out some of these former players that are going to help pull the names out of these pots.
This evening, with these very important proceedings, we've invited some of the continent's most
exactly. That's
personalities to join us.
What is being explained right now by the MCs.
First up, we have one of the brightest match officials in Asia.
So wow, they're bringing up a ref.
FIFA Women's World Cup 2023, and only very recently took charge of the final of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia.
Oh, interesting. This is a nice surprise.
Very warm welcome to Miss Kim Yoo-jong.
Kim Yoo-jong. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen this. I mean, I suppose they're part of the game. Like, they should get their moment in the sun. Definitely not like the most famous Asian referee out there, but I guess maybe not so controversial. But yeah, Korean referee Kim Yoo-sung. She is on the stage now. I gotta say, I did not have that on my bingo card. That is interesting.
And how far do you think the Republic can go this time?
One of my favorite memories of Korea Republic in the AFC Asian Cup is incredible support from our nationality.
Okay, this is
definitely something else. They are known as the Red Devils. And the Asian football is becoming more competitive every year.
Okay, what she's saying is definitely rehearsed. It's a little bit awkward.
I think the team has very good.
Okay, I don't know why they make these decisions to bring people who are not very camera ready to do a draw, but yeah, there you have it.
I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. So next, we would like to welcome to the stage one of the leading football personalities in Vietnam. A round of applause, please, for Mr. Nguyen Minh Hai.
Okay, Nguyen Minh Hai from Vietnam. He's just one of the leading personalities. I don't know what this. Excuse me if he was a player. I'm ignorant of it. But wow, okay, he's got a very interesting outfit. It's kind of like a Never suit. He's all red with a big yellow star.
But how does it feel for you to be in the final?
Full of surprises, this Asian Cup draw. Full of surprises.
I must say that it is such a great honor for me to be here in the most important event of
Vietnam is here, by the way, because Malaysia cheated. Just FYI. That's why that's part of the reason why they're here.
Amazing fan. Vietnamese football players now making a visible progress, and with the vision, also the action plan, and the investment from Vietnam Football Federation, we hope that.
So yeah, if you're keeping an eye on some of this work I'm doing at the last minute here.
I love this. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much. You may take your place.
Yeah, that's incredibly positive. Great to hear that.
The flags I'm filling up now are of the teams.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that Palestine cannot be drawn
this evening is a man who not long ago has brought joy to millions by achieving a historic FIFA World Cup qualification. Please put your hands together one more time for Jordan head coach, Mr. Jamal.
Okay, Jordan head coach Jamal, not Salami. You know, if you could get somebody who could speak more than one language, you might actually get half decent pronunciations in a better presentation. But the AFC, clueless, and this guy has a monopoly for whatever reason on all the MC words.
Firstly, looking back, how do you feel about that? And also, looking forward, what can we expect from your team in the FIFA World Cup? And then, of course, back here in the AFC Asian Cup.
It was a historical achievement for Jordanian football. And being part of it, it means a lot to me. It also reflects of outcome of years of hard work and commitment. Looking back, I feel a mix of satisfaction in having fulfilled the dream of an entire
Okay, so let me go in on his feelings for World Cup qualification.
to represent Jordan in
Nothing too, I think, groundbreaking as far as the content is concerned. So he's very proud.
forward.
We're looking
Say to
forward.
fans, you are a big part of this journey. We feel your passion and we will do our best to make you proud. At the World Cup, we come to compete, to learn, and to show the national identity. Of course, for Asian Cup, our goal is to go as far as possible in tournament.
Again, thanks for coming to our stage.
Truly an incredible moment for Jordan. We wish you all the best. All right, for our next draw assistant, we will be welcoming a young man who has inspired many with his sporting journey and represented Saudi Arabia on the international.
Okay, Saudi is next up.
A round of applause, please, for Saudi Arabian para-footballer Yazan Seifan.
Okay, a Paralympic footballer named Yazan Seifan. A little short on star power, I have to say. I think Jamal Salam is maybe the most recognizable person up on the stage right
It's so
now.
good to have you here back home for this event. How does it feel to have your country, Saudi Arabia, host such an amazing major Asian event? And what should visitors expect from this experience when they get here?
Yeah, I mean, they ask these guys questions. The answers are kind of dry. You have to get people on camera ready and have interesting things to say. Otherwise, what are we doing? Yeah, I have to say, well, this is pretty bad. It's an improvement over what the AFC put together historically, which was just, they do it in Kuala Lumpur in small rooms. This is in a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the eastern part of Saudi Arabia, which was quite impressive. I think if you were there, you really appreciate it, but obviously we're not. We're just watching it through our screens.
Enjoyed a stellar playing career with 3 World Cups for his nation and also at club level as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Japan legend, Mr. Hidetoshi Nakata.
Hidetoshi Nakata. Okay, there we go. Finally, like a big Asian star. Yeah. Hidetoshi Nakata looking good. Looking good. Hasn't aged a day.
Good to have you here. It's an honor that you could join us for this draw tonight. Now, of course, you've had a career full of so many highlights. I mentioned with Japan and also in Europe for club level. What did you learn from your playing career that has helped you in your life since you retired?
Good evening. So, it's my honor to be here in Saudi Arabia tonight for this draw. Regarding the question, football helped me that everything start with a challenge. And only the discipline makes it happen.
Wise words, words that I'm sure that will be adhered to by everyone who hopes to do well here in Saudi Arabia.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. You may take your place. Thank you.
Thank you.
For our sixth draw assistant, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
sixth and final
A
assistant.
former professional player who has become a top online personality in the People's Republic of China. All while pursuing her university studies, by the way, and also playing
Chinese
for their team.
person.
So please give a warm welcome to Li Yuhan.
Li Yuhan. Can't say that I know this person.
Hi, good to have you with us on stage. So China has a long history and a long participation. What kind of memories that stuck with you the most through this journey?
Okay, well, over the years, the Chinese national team has left me so many great memories from the AFC Asian Cup. And I still remember watching documentaries about 2004 Home Asian Cup when the whole nation cheered us one for our team. And I was deeply impressed by our excellent performance at 2015 Asian Cup, where the players showed amazing spirit and determination. Now looking for 2027, we got a great new head coach and many
This
excellent.
person said she was impressed by China's performance at the 2015 Asian Cup.
We can.
They,
And
yeah, they made it out of the group, I think.
we
And they didn't really do anything. It was quite forgettable, but I guess I guess you could have said 2019. At least they made the quarterfinal then. And it won a knockout stage match. And that was strange. Okay. Anyway.
So you're next to pots A and B. Now, finally, our seventh drawer assistant is somebody who
They have a seventh draw assistant,
many of you are very familiar with,
but only 6 pots.
all of you have been waiting for, a modern legend of not just Saudi football, but also across Asia. He is one of the best players ever to grace the continent and the current captain of Saudi Arabia. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together.
Salim Dosan.
Welcome to Salim Al-Dostri.
Okay, another actual recognizable person. Okay, great. Final.
Welcome on stage with the stand-ups. يعني أنا أتخيل شعورك بأنه المملكة العربية السعودية اليوم تستضيف حدث بهذا الحجم ولأول مرة. احكي لنا عن هذا الفخر اللي تشعر فيه أنا متأكدة، وأيضا كيف ترى قيادة الأخضر على أرض وطنه.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. فخور كوني ممثل المنتخب السعودي. واليوم السعودية أصبحت وجهة للعالم في كافة المجالات ومنها الرياضة، وكلنا ثقة بأن هذه النسخة نسخة مميزة. وصراحة سعيد بالمشاركة أنا وزملائي اللاعبين في هذا الحدث الكبير وفي بلادنا وبين جمهورنا، وبإذن الله سنبذل المقصارى جهدنا من أجل تشريف الوطن في البطولة.
بلا شك، ونحن يعني فالكم الفوز ونحن نتمنى لكم كل التوفيق بلا شك. شكرا لوجودك معنا. تفضل إلى مرة ثانية. شكرا.
Okay.
Well, now there's one more person.
Oh, there's still one more person.
To bring up here to the stage.
Wow.
And
Okay.
he is none other than our
Jeez, I thought I was running late.
evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a very warm welcome to the AFC General Secretary, Datuk Sri Windsor John.
Datuk Sir Windsor John, or whatever his name is. This guy's a dinosaur. He's been with the AFC since before some of you were born.
I think it's great to have you here. How are you feeling ahead of this final draw?
Draws are always exciting. Lots of expectations, and also a reminder that the tournament is not too far away.
And that's great news for everybody. I think you've summed up the feeling in this wonderful setting already. So, ladies and gentlemen, our draw assistants are in position, and we thank them again for their presence. And the time has come now for us to hand over the floor to our draw conductor, Datuk Sri Windsor John, to take us.
Okay, so
Datuk Sri Windsor, thank you, John.
Mr. John is going to start drawing.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
He's welcoming the dignitaries,
Almost.
and we're just about ready to get this draw underway.
Fibra y móvil con principios. Llámanos gratis al 1706. Pepefon.
4.
Okay, so we got a video of all the teams participating. And there we go.
This team. Okay. As I explained earlier, we will.
Okay, so we are ready to get this show on the road. And the first team out, so they're going to start with pot 4. Oh shoot! There goes my stream. Yeah, Kuwait is the first team out, so let's put them into Group A.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, so Kuwait, and let's see where they'll go.
Para tu próxima aventura, vuela por menos. Explora más de 150 destinos con Wix Air.
DPR.
So they're going to position 2. And now Korea DPR
2019 and
are going into Group B.
best finish in fourth in 1980. Will be aiming to reach the knockout stage for the first time since then. For B, can we have the position of DPR Korea?
And so Korea DPR, they are going into position B3. So
Korea will be positioned.
just a point of clarity, because Kuwait was drawn into the second position, they will not play the opening match. The opening match is A1 against A4. So Saudi Arabia against the team that will be in position A4.
Kyrgyz Republic.
Next team up, Kyrgyzstan, officially known as the Kyrgyz Republic. They're into Group C now.
In a row. Best finish is round of 16 in 2019. Yazan, Group C, you take the first ball.
And let's see their position. C3. They are into C3.
C position number 3. Thank you. We'll move on to the next ball. Ms. Kim.
Singapore.
Singapore
Into Group
first
D.
appearance on merit. Previously was host in 1984.
So this is the first time Singapore has actually qualified on merit. They did host the 1984 Asian Cup. The weakest and I believe the lowest ranked team at the Asian Cup. So this is kind of the group you want. You want to get into Group D with Singapore, which I said in other lives, an easy draw. D4. They go into D4. So let's pop Singapore into position D4. Two teams left. Korea DPR and the winner of Lebanon, Yemen.
Lebanon or Yemen.
Okay, indeed, Lebanon, Yemen. You will see the flag of Lebanon here, but know that it's Lebanon or Yemen. They go into Group E.
Will be decided when the two teams meet to decide their fate. Match will be played on June 4th, 2026 in Doha, Qatar. And a draw will be enough for Lebanon, while Yemen need to win to qualify. So let's see in which group. Minhai.
Okay, so Lebanon or Yemen.
E4.
Okay, they're going into
E4.
position
So the winner
E4.
of Lebanon versus Yemen will be in position 4 in Group E.
And that means Korea DPR is in Group F.
Group 4.
We just need to wait on the position.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Second consecutive appearance and 6th overall.
Excuse me. Indonesia is into Group F. Excuse me.
In 2023, ending in round of 16. Mihai, let's look at which position.
Let's see the position now. F4 as well.
So they will be in position 4 in Group F. So thank you so much, Ms. Kim. Now,
Okay, we can eliminate Pot 4 now.
drawing all 6 teams in pot.
And now this is the exciting part. This is where Palestine can get drawn. They can get drawn right now in any group.
Let's look at the 6 teams.
And the hype video for all teams in Pot 3. Just to review, Bahrain, Thailand, Palestine, Vietnam, Tajikistan, and China. Palestine cannot play any of those teams that I just listed. Okay, live video showing you all the teams. Let's see what images they use for Palestine. Wissam Abu Ali, some Abdel Dabbagh, that time Salem's goal against Kuwait. Well, they would have used some Hamid Mahajna. Okay. In any case, that's not important. Let's see who Palestine will play in their fourth successive Asian Cup finals. Palestine's first successful qualification, 2015. It was a 16-team tournament. They're at the 2019, 2023 editions.
We have for 3, and we have Coach Jamal to help us.
And 2 out of the 3 tournaments they played, they were in the group of death. Well, last time they actually had something that amounted to a manageable group. Jamal Salami here to draw. And let's see who he draws. This team goes into pot A. It is Palestine. It is Palestine, pot A. There is potential for Palestine to play the opening match. If we are drawn into position 4, Palestine will play the opening match.
First time when advancing to the round of 16 Palestine. So let's see where they are in Group A.
I think I would like to play the opening match. I don't know about you guys. Okay. There's an app.
Small.
Let's see.
Creating your website, email, and online
Let's skip.
We got you covered. You don't need.
Palestine is going to play the opening match. Palestine into position 4. Palestine will play the opening match of the 2027 AFC Asian Cup. And now just confirmation that Group B will feature Bahrain alongside Korea, DPR. But yeah, Palestine and Saudi Arabia. I know, I don't know why they've done this, but they haven't drawn Saudi Arabia into the position that they're supposed to be in, which is position A1. I will say something about this group. It is going to be a very Arab group. It is going to be all Arab teams as Bahrain gets drawn into position B2.
Right, we'll move on to the next.
So yeah, that first game in Group B will be their first game in Group B will be against Korea DPR. Group A, a fully Arab group. Whomever comes out of pot 2.
China PR.
And China PR
missed an edition since the debut
is into Group C, where they will play Kyrgyzstan. The 2 teams met at the group stage in 2019 in the UAE.
And China. So let's look at Ezra. Group C.
C4.
C4.
Together with Kyrgyz Republic. Okay. We move on to the next ball.
So China will play against whomever C1 is in their first match. Tajikistan into Group D.
Debutants after first qualification in 2020.
I think Tajikistan and Singapore will be happy to see each other. Both teams will fancy that they can get a result, I think, against this other team. Tajikistan obviously trying to go the extra step. On their debut, they made it out of the group. I thought they had a good World Cup qualifying campaign in a difficult group with Saudi Arabia and Jordan. Sorry, I prematurely put them into D3. Shouldn't have done that. They're in D2.
We move on to the next ball. Are you searching for something?
Right side. Vietnam.
All right. 6th appearance and 3rd in a row. The best finish is 4th.
Vietnam into Group E. That is the group where the winner of Lebanon and Yemen lie in position 4. So they will play them in the first game if they get position 3 here. Let's see what they draw. They do get position 3.
E3.
Vietnam into Group E.
Thank you. So we have the last ball from pot 3.
Thailand into Group F, where they will meet ASEAN neighbors, Indonesia.
In their final qualifier to progress to Saudi Arabia. West finish was third in 1972 on their debut, but hadn't reached knockout stage again until 2019 and again in 2023. Right. Now let's look at where they are, Thailand.
Yeah, I don't know. How are we feeling about this draw? This is it's interesting. This could be a very tough draw, depending on who comes out of pot 2. We're just on the verge here of finding out who comes out of pot 2.
F3 Thailand.
As Thailand goes into
So that takes us to
position
the
3.
stage. Now and everything is set.
So they'll play Indonesia in that first game.
Thank you, Jamal. And we move on now to pot 2.
And now we're going to find out who Palestine will play
In this spot.
And it could be, I mean, what did we say? We've said probably we're going to get Jordan, right? Like are we going to embrace that we're just going to be drawn against each other? The hype video is going on now. Okay, yeah, it's I mean, I think these are games where Palestine can get results. Obviously, they didn't lose to Kuwait in World Cup qualifying, so they should be able to get a win again, I think. That's where you would have to target 3 points. Saudi Arabia, almost every single time they play, the game ends in a draw after 9 minutes. So you would have to try and avoid a defeat in that opening game. And then you would want something manageable. And manageable would be the 3 lower ranked teams. You don't want a Jordan, you don't want a Qatar, you don't want an Iraq. You don't want the World Cup teams. You want Oman, you want UAE, you want Syria. So let's see what we got here.
We have with us Nakata-san to draw the balls for us. Please, the first ball.
Okay, Hidetoshi Nakata is going to draw the team that will go into Group A, into position 3. It is Oman. It is Oman. It is Oman. I think we can be happy with this. Jordan or the holders, Qatar or Iraq would have been way more difficult. Oman will take it. I don't think Oman is better than Palestine. I think you're looking at in Kuwait and Oman, two tough opponents, but definitely not opponents that are better than you.
So we have Kuwait, Oman, Palestine in Group A. Right, let's move on to the next ball.
And Oman goes into position 3. So we know Group A already, the all Arab group. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, and Palestine. Jordan into Group B.
Jordan finalists the last edition in Qatar in 2023, preparing for their debut World Cup and participation.
And I believe this portion of the draw will go quicker because...
which position?
Oh, no, they're still going to draw bowls, although we know that they're into position 4. Position 1 is reserved for all the top-seeded teams. So we'll just pop Jordan into Group B there.
So much, Mr. Lee. We move on to the next ball.
Okay.
Syria. This is Syria's 3rd consecutive appearance, and they are 8 overall. The 2020
Syria into Group C.
Memorable as they reach the knockout stage.
So Syria, in another kind of a group that I think is very evenly matched. Syria will be very happy about this. They're going to go into position 2. We'll pop them in there before they actually draw them out of the hat. Yeah, they're going to be happy about that. Play Kyrgyzstan in their first match. Obviously, you have to respect every single opponent, but not teams with a whole ton of pedigree. Kyrgyzstan and China fell out at the group stage last time around in 2023, which was actually played in 2024. Okay, Hidetoshi Nakata to draw the team that will go to Group D alongside Tajikistan and Singapore. It is Iraq.
Iraq champions in 2007.
So Iraq will be feeling very happy about their draw, I have to say, because this is quite a manageable draw. They've got this weakest team, the likes of Singapore. They have Tajikistan.
Find and confirm the position of Iraq.
And let's also remember that Tajikistan, they clinched their spot last day of Asian Cup qualifying proper. They got the result they needed against Philippines to punch the ticket. So we put Iraq into D3. Their first game will be against Tajikistan. Who do we have left? We've got the UAE left. We've got Qatar left, the holders. The UAE go into position 2 in Group E.
It's host of Asian Cup 2019.
So they'll face Vietnam and the winner of Lebanon, Yemen.
98 and the semi-final is in 2019. They are in, let's see, Group E. Let's see the position. Behind.
And there's confirmation. E2. Mr. Vietnam drawing of UAE into E2, which means Vietnam and UAE are confirmed to play that in that match day 1 or round 1. It's like, I think it's still called match day 1, although it's played over several days. And Qatar confirmation that they, the holders, go into Group F.
They won those titles in unbeaten fashion
Alongside Indonesia and Thailand.
Behind. Last.
So yeah, Group C, D, E, F. No, just one Arab teams. And then we've got 2 Arab teams in Group B, Bahrain, Jordan. Group A, Palestine's a group fully Arab occasion over here. Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, and
For your
Palestine.
help, Katasan. So before we look at the pot 1 teams, so here are the teams in pot 1.
Okay, so a hype video for the pot 1 teams. Again, I don't know why they just didn't put, and this is also unique about draws in Asia. They always start with the lowest rank. And then if you look at how they do it in UEFA, I believe the AFC as well, they start with the top ranked sides. Yeah, so basically if you're one of these big nations, you're sort of just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, with the exception of Saudi Arabia, because we all knew that Saudi Arabia was going to be placed into Group A in position 1. We knew that before the draw started. Now, I did have my feed on mute, so maybe they did something, and that's not the case. But I am like 95%, 96, actually 99%, 99.9%, let's say, sure that this team, Saudi Arabia, the hosts, will go into position A1.
Excellent.
Confirmation of who's there. Let's get rid of the pot 2 on our screen here.
First, from pot 1, as explained in the draw mechanism, they are identified by a different colored ball, as you can see.
Yeah, there you go. So Saudi Arabia's in the pot in a different colored bowl. They're going to be pulled into
and confirm
A1.
Saudi Arabia, proud host of the AFC Asian Cup for the very first time. 3 titles, second most successful team in the tournament.
3 titles for Saudi Arabia at the Asian Cup. It's their first time hosting. And that occasion will be marked with A.
That is the largest of the 8 stadiums.
With an amazing opening match in Jeddah. Against who? Against Palestine, baby. Against Palestine.
These top seeds in pot 1 are automatically drawn into position 1. This is a very expensive fort.
So, just confirmation here, January 7th. I believe, yes, January 7th. Saudi Arabia against, excuse me, not in Jeddah, in the King Fahd Sports City Stadium in Riyadh against Palestine. And Palestine will have basically 2 games in Riyadh and a final game in Jeddah. Uzbekistan is the next team out.
I know a lot of mixed reactions. They will be together with Bahrain, Korea, DPR Korea, and Jordan.
Interesting. I think this is a sneaky strong group, Group B. Depending on which Korea DPR shows up, depending on what Bahrain's situation is like, I would think Uzbekistan and Jordan navigate this group. Okay, Iran into an interesting looking Group C. I mean, these are all interesting looking groups with the exception of ours, which is just not cosmopolitan whatsoever. But Iran, Syria, Kyrgyzstan, China. First game up for Iran against China. First game up for Jordan, by the way, against Uzbekistan.
In Group C together with Syria, Kyrgyz Republic, and China PR. Next ball, which will be placed in Group D.
Okay, let's see who's up in Group D. Whomever comes out here will play their first match against D4. That's Singapore. Australia. So Australia against Singapore.
Position 1 together with Tajikistan.
Interesting group. Very, very interesting group. We've got Australia. I know they're technically part of ASEAN, but they're kind of their own thing. We've got an ASEAN nation in Singapore. We've got Iraq. And we've got Central Asian nation in Tajikistan. So nice spread.
EOF. Yeah. So who would you want to play in Group E? No. Japan? Let's see.
Okay, the Vietnamese gentleman was asked who he wants in his group. He said Japan. He has drawn Korea Republic.
In 1956 and also won the second edition in 1960.
Okay, Group F. We'll just confirm it right now. Japan is the only team left on the board, so we'll just pop them in there.
Of course, the last one. Let's confirm.
And yeah, that is.
Japan, highest ranked Asian team in the FIFA ranking, 18th.
That's your group. I mean, that's your group. Group A is Palestine.
1992.
Alongside Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Oman.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The final draw results.
Yeah, I'm a little shell-shocked.
Asian Cup,
I think
Saudi Arabia 2020.
I think this is good.
Fatma.
I think we can be happy with what we have. Let's kind of do this thought experiment of if we look at the board here, as I've muted the stream, they're going to kind of conclude. We'll stick on for a couple minutes, see if there's any live reaction from the likes of the coaches. Sometimes they do these stand-up interviews. But yeah, it's going to be Saudi Arabia against Palestine in the opening game. And I think you just have to relish the fact that you get to play in the opening game. And Palestine did that wonderfully well during the Arab Cup. They took that in. They took that opportunity. They played really well against a team that was well prepared for that occasion. And then, hung in there during the difficult moments. And they had their chances in the second half. And it seemed like they were going to waste their chances and have to settle for a draw. And we all know how that ended with the last-minute winner. And so the fact that they have that practice under their belt, as Georgios Donis is being asked for his reaction. Let's see what he says.
Before the World Cup, I'm looking forward to see my players and to make the first training session together. And I believe when we reach
He's yet to have a training session with his team.
in our country to be ready to reach the final and to win the title. Thank you very much.
Says they're going to be ready to compete and reach the final.
Gavin, let me see you. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Okay.
So, what do you think of the draw?
Gavin Lee, coach of Singapore, he's been asked his opinion. We will, we'll just pause that there. I don't think there's anything that's going to be tremendously relevant for our discussion here. But yes, as you see here, Group A, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Palestine. So Palestine will play against Saudi Arabia in their first game, Kuwait in their second game, and over in Jeddah, they will play against Oman for a chance to extract a little bit of revenge. And look, I think you can look at it two ways. Sometimes you don't want the team that you're familiar with because the game gets bogged down and they just know you so well, so it just ends up becoming a very stodgy game, and you can't really play your game because they're just so good at negating you because they know you that well. I will say this about Kuwait. I think Kuwait was one of the stronger teams that you could have drawn from the fourth spot. That said, we played them twice in World Cup qualifying. I thought we were comfortably the better side in both games. We were on the ropes a little bit for that second game, but we handled that well. We ended up getting a 2-0 victory. If you look at what other teams did when they went to Kuwait, I don't think anybody handled that task as well as we did, maybe with the exception of Korea Republic. But even Korea Republic, it was, I believe, 1-1 in that game that they played in Kuwait City at some point. Jordan drew there, Iraq drew there, Oman got a 1-0 victory there. So we actually got the best result in the qualifying group against Kuwait. Now we're going to play against them on neutral territory. We should win that game. We should be banking on those 3 points. That said, I do think there are enough points on the board to be had to compete for top spot in the group. We should not be aiming just to get out as maybe one of the best third place teams. We should really be aiming to kind of upset the apple cart. Maybe even that position 1, because I'll have to look at the bracket and study the bracket a little bit to see what this will look like for Palestine. But I think you're looking at basically matchups, with teams in Group B and teams in Group C, and that means Japan potentially is all the way on the other side of the bracket. I know Qatar isn't wowing anyone at the moment, but they're also on the other side of the bracket, presumably, right? If everyone wins their group and nobody ends up in like a weird third place team. So we will obviously break down the bracket and see what that looks like. I don't think they're showing us anything right now on the stream that will kind of tell us what the road to the final looks like just yet. But for Palestine, the one thing that I didn't want to happen, really, if I was going to be honest with you, was I think if you got the holder in your group, whatever anyone says about Qatar, you have to respect that they're back-to-back Asian Cup champions and just been here so many times. It's a veteran team. You wouldn't have wanted to face them, especially with the hosts in your group as well. It would have been a very difficult group. And I think Jordan, they have our number. I'm not scared of facing them, but this group is complicated as is. You already have the hosts. You don't have kind of a gimme in position 4. Oman is definitely the team that I targeted in position 3, just because I know the lads are up for it and they want to set the record straight. And if I were Oman, I'd be very afraid right now. I would be really, really concerned with the fact that you are going to have to face Palestine, who you got past them by cheating. Let's be honest with that. They cheated. That was a dive. The ref didn't catch it, and now we have a chance for revenge. So I think having been close to this team and knowing their mentality, I do think that they will be up for playing in the opening game. They'll relish it. They have practice. Again, everything you do in friendlies leading up to tournaments is trying to replicate in-game situations. You already have played a year ago, almost it will be exactly 13 months before this match on January 7th, 2027. You would have played the opening match of the Arab Cup just 13 months prior. So you already have practice in doing so. And in Kuwait and Oman, hey, listen, you're going to save some time with scouting. It's not like Kuwait and Oman are going to bring in a ton of new players. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same group, same core group. They might have a couple of guys that are coming in to the ranks, but it's going to be very hard for them to change basically the team that was relied upon at the Arab Cup. And let's also cast our minds back to the Arab Cup. Kuwait got dumped out at the group stage and they weren't very good. Let's just put it that way. I mean, they had chances to beat that really horrible team that Egypt sent, and they couldn't take advantage of that. And Jordan just swept them aside. UAE, which they also dealt with them quite comfortably, and they were just gone. Oman, I believe they beat Comoros, but they lost. I think they were in a group with Saudi. Wasn't it with Saudi and Algeria, if I'm not mistaken, or Saudi and Morocco? Excuse me, Saudi and Morocco, and they also fell at the group stage. And they've got a new coach. We'll see what Tarek Security can do with them. Um, but even Kuwait has kind of a new coach because they hired Elio Sousa, the former coach of Bahrain, and let Juan Antonio Pizzi go. And also, yeah, Giorgio Donis has only been in charge for a couple of weeks in Saudi Arabia. So, Palestine is coming in here with a lot more stability. So I think, just the rapid reaction analysis I can give you right now is that, yes, this is a tough group. Yes, this doesn't feel like an Asian Cup because you just have three teams that are in your sub-confederation, two teams that you faced twice between September 2024 and June 2025, a team that you played your last competitive match against back in December 2025. So it just seems very familiar. If you got drawn against the likes of, I don't know, let's say UAE, right? Well, it's been a while since we played against them. You could say, like, oh, okay, fine. That's like we're facing a new team. They've changed coaches. They've naturalized a bunch of players. That feels new. If you were playing against the likes of, let's say, Japan, who we've only faced once in our history, Uzbekistan, who we haven't faced in a competitive match since 2019, then it starts to feel, oh, different regions were actually like mixing it up with different types of countries and cultures. If we had gotten the likes of Korea DPR, who we also have only faced once previously in our history, it would have had this feeling of like, oh, this is new. Kyrgyzstan as well. I'm just throwing out names here. Um, I do see that there was a question of who I wanted. I'm going to tell you right now, I wanted Oman. I definitely wanted Oman. A friend of mine told me earlier today, like, bring on Saudi Arabia. I didn't want Saudi Arabia just because I wanted something new. I wanted something like, yeah, I wanted to feel like I'm playing against all of the Asian continent, the East, the Central, the Southeast. There are no South Asian teams, unfortunately, this time around. So it doesn't really have an Asian Cup flavor, but I think we're going to feel the Asian Cup flavor the moment we kind of land in Saudi Arabia for our live coverage and see the fact that all the hype is around the opening match, and the opening match is featuring Palestine. So I think maybe some people will say that they might have rigged it that way to kind of one up that. I can already imagine the headlines here, but yeah, it is what it is. I think kind of quickly looking over the rest of the groups. Look, I think Group B, Jordan and Uzbekistan should get through. I think the big question mark is what type of Korea DPR, that's North Korea, shows up. They've been really, really bad at Asian Cups as of late. They withdrew from the 2023 tournament. They were horrible in 2019. They really underachieved in 2015. They were like one of the worst teams at both tournaments. We know they're good at home, though, so I don't know what type of Korea DPR will show up. But I think 1-2 will definitely be Uzbekistan, Jordan. You can pick either kind of where they finish in the rankings there. Group C, interesting. Iran is going to have, I think, a good test on their hands against Syria and China. I think this might be one of the groups where three teams go through. But I could also see only 2 teams going through because Kyrgyzstan is not gonna be an easy out, so they might actually play spoiler for the third place team, which is or the third place team between Syria and China, either leapfrogging them or taking points off of them and kind of putting them down the rankings there. Group D, a little bit of nostalgia. Anytime I see Australia Iraq, I remember the 2007 Asian Cup, and I think that was Iraq's opening match. Or was it their second match? I think it was maybe it was their second match. Anyway, I just remember that result 3-1, and that was when you sort of felt like, hey, this Iraqi team, maybe they got something special. Um, so interesting group. I do think that Singapore has no chance. Again, I think 1-2 is pretty clear. Tajikistan will be hoping to get the 3 points against Singapore to kind of finish as one of the best runners up. They could make things difficult for Australia and Iraq, but I think for them to get a result, even a draw against one of those two teams, one of those two teams would have to have an off day. Group E, Korea, UAE, Vietnam, the winner of Lebanon. I put Lebanon here because Lebanon just needs a draw to clinch the top spot. Yeah, I do think that it's an even group. You don't know. I think if Lebanon ends up advancing, it's a far stronger group than if Yemen does, because Yemen just plays one way and it's super defensive. And our friend Nuruddin Wadid Ali is coaching them, and he's just going to inhibit any talent there is in the Yemeni side. So let's hope that Lebanon advances, just because we want to see the strongest teams at an Asian Cup, and I do think Yemen will be a lot stronger once they fire Nuruddin Mulad. Let's just be honest there. But yeah, Korea and UAE should be 1-2 again here. I just don't see Vietnam would have to improve a lot to kind of challenge for the top 2 spots. Group F, I think the same. Japan and Qatar, but I do think as a totality of their parts, as a pot 3 and pot 4 team, this is a strong group. I would say probably Group F is the strongest, top to bottom, alongside maybe Group C. Kind of depend on the form the teams are in, but I think Group F might be the strongest, to be honest with you. Also, if you just think about, the Thais and the Indonesians are going to be so well prepared. They have, massive countries with ton of resources behind them. And yeah, they have the ability to surprise a little bit. I think Japan is just the creme de la creme of Asia, but Qatar is going to play basically 2 countries that they haven't, played a lot against. So we'll see what happens there. Switching over, final thoughts before we kind of call it a day here. Looking over what the potential knockout stage matches. So if Palestine can get out of their group in the runner-up position, they will play the runner-up from Group C. So actually, it's a good group to be in that you're not playing a winner. And then the winner of that group will play the winner of Group D, and the third place team from B, E, or F. So a little bit hard to kind of figure out whom that may be. But if we look over here, yeah, winner of Group D in a quarterfinal, potentially, you're thinking maybe Australia, maybe Iraq. Runner-up from Group C. Again, that's a nice group to play, because you're thinking Iran will probably take first place. And then you've got Syria, who we have a really good record against. We've got Kyrgyzstan, who might surprise, and we've got China. Listen, we said we want an Asian feel. What more would you want than maybe playing China in a round of 16 match? We have yet to beat China, but I think we're close. I think it's going to be one of those things where, like, it would be nice to get our first win against them at an Asian Cup. Obviously, for that to happen, they'll need to figure out how to get out of the group stage. They didn't get out of the group stage the last time around. We're going to see a vastly improved China. I mean, China was really bad at World Cup qualifying. There's a reason why Palestine and China are basically neck and neck in the FIFA rankings. Let's kind of cast our minds to what if we actually won the group. Well, if we won the group, we'd play third from C, D, and E, And then the runner-up, and if we would win that, the runner-up, we played Khobar on the 29th of January in the quarterfinal, and that would be the winner between runner-up Group F and runner-up Group B. Group B, tough. We're looking at Uzbekistan and Jordan, and I would think that they are, probably, if we say it's Jordan against, let's say, Qatar, uh, could be a potential locking of the horns there against Jordan. But let's stop with the speculation. In order for that to happen, we have to win the group. And yeah, that's maybe a little bit too far down the line. Just looking at the bracket here, let's say we finish as runners up. The earliest we would face Japan, which is the team everybody would want to avoid, is the semifinal on the 1st of February in Khobar. Again, let's not cast our imaginations too far forward. There's a lot of football to be played. But confirmation, if you're just joining us now, that and we've got a South Korean Claret says hello there, hello to you. South Korea, for those of you who missed it, in a group with UAE, Vietnam, and the winner of Lebanon and Yemen. So they've got, I think, a nice little geographic spread of teams, right? You've got basically a random, not so national team in the United Arab Emirates. You've got a West Asian team, which would be the winner of Lebanon against Yemen and Vietnam. South Korean Claret saying, yeah, I watched the draw. I just hope please no Group B. I could imagine that would be a derby, which you throw everything out of the window if you played your estranged brothers to the north. And then you have to face Jordan. Listen, I think probably the only other team that's more annoyed by playing against Jordan would be South Korea. So we definitely shared your kind of concerns there, because we also didn't want Jordan coming out in our group. Group B should be a fun one. Just because there's a lot of unknowns. We don't know what Korea DPR will look like, and we don't know really what Bahrain is kind of up to. If they kind of go back to being the Bahrain that won the Gulf Cup, then I think they could walk the boat in this group. And if Korea DPR shows some of the form, some of that spoiler form they showed in World Cup qualifying, I mean, that's the reason why Syria didn't advance to the final stages, is because North Korea picked them to it. Also because they drew against Myanmar. So Group B, I can understand why you wouldn't have wanted to be in that group. I think also we didn't want to face Jordan this early in the tournament in a difficult group. So I'm going to end it here. We've been live for just a little bit over an hour. Thank you for watching, participating in this watch along. I had a lot of fun doing it. And there you have it. Confirmation of Palestine's group. Palestine, their first match, the opening match against hosts Saudi Arabia in Riyadh on January 7th, 2027. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. You definitely you wanted that. You can't tell me you didn't want that. You wanted that. That second match they'll play would be also in Riyadh, this time at the Kingdom Arena. The first match is in King Fahd Sports City, a ginormous stadium. So Kingdom Arena, site of the second match on the 12th of January, 2027 against Kuwait. And then the final match shifts over to Jeddah at the Prince Abdullah Faisal Sports City against Oman, where we get to set the record straight about what happened on that day in June last year. So really excited for this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you've watched this and you don't subscribe to Football Palestine, consider subscribing because we give away a lot of things for free, and then we give a lot of insights behind the paywall. But if you haven't even subscribed to the free version of Football Palestine, what are you doing? Consider subscribing. So we are going to end the live, and we will see you soon with more reaction from the 2027 Asian Cup draw. Bye for now.